Hey, good morning, Journey Church. Pastor Randy here. It is Friday. It's 11:30. Sunday's coming, and that means it's time for our Sunday preview. And as you can see, right here. As you can see, this Sunday, June 28th, right at 10:30 a.m., we are going live in person right here at the Journey Church in East Sonora. And I want to give you some thoughts about that and what that will look like and how you can help make that an example of loving our neighbors, bringing hope and healing to our community and to the world. The morning is going to look a lot different. It's going to look different physically because the chairs are scattered around, allowing for a lot more physical distancing. And we're not going to have live music. Dan and Becky have asked not to be part of that for these first couple of weeks. We will get them back in here on July 12th. And the message time, I always want to say it's going to be shorter, but I just can't stop talking. So the message time is going to focus on, as we continue our series on the story of the Bible, it's going to focus on the translations and how we got our English translations and which translations you might want to read. And I've got all these translations back here, just a host of them. And we'll talk about that and hopefully give you some confidence as you read whatever translation you read and as you hear other English translations of the Bible. And so we'll talk about that. But let me give you a little bit of, I want you to hear my heart in some of the things that are going on in our nation and in our county, and hear my heart in this. As followers of Jesus, we are called to love God and love people. In fact, Jesus said those are the two greatest commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the second greatest commandment, he said, is like that, and it's to love your neighbor as yourself. Love others. And that doesn't mean we don't take care of ourselves, but it means we put others first. And as you are aware, about a week ago today, the California Department of Public Health issued updated guidance about wearing face masks. And they said, for all intents and purposes, face masks are now required in any indoor public space. Well, the church is considered an indoor public space. And so that requirement applies to us. Now, I know that a lot of law enforcement agencies around the country, including here in Tuolumne and our neighbors in Calaveras, are saying we're not going to enforce, we want to educate. And a lot of the store owners, some are enforcing that and saying, hey, you can't come in here if you don't have a mask on, and others are not. Whether you wear a mask ultimately is up to you. But let me give you a perspective. What I'm hearing a lot is, it's not constitutional, the governor doesn't have that authority, the public health, it's not law, it's not requirement. They can't enforce the law because it's not a law. And there's question about the effectiveness of masks in preventing the disease spread, the spread of the disease of coronavirus. And I recognize that the science is still being discovered. And so there's questions about, do masks help? And the science on that is arguable. I recognize that. I get that. Hear my heart in this. At the very least, for me to wear a mask protects you in case I'm sick. The mask doesn't protect me so much. It protects you. So for me, wearing a mask is an others focus. It is about loving others. It's about loving my neighbor. Why? Well, God says to. And if there's a chance that I can protect you by enduring the inconvenience and discomfort of wearing a mask, I'm willing to do that. Now again, I know there are very strong feelings about masks. Some people don't want to wear them because they think the science doesn't support it. Some people don't want to wear them because it is uncomfortable or it restricts breathing, or in these days in particular, it's hot. I get that. I also believe that there are some people who don't want to wear them just to be belligerent, just to be contrary. And frankly, Christians got no business doing that. So here's my very strong request, and I hope that you received our letter that went out this week. Ours came in the mail yesterday, so be sure you read that. But here's we upgraded the language in that letter from encourage you to wear a mask to strongly recommend. We will have masks. In fact, we have masks available here. We're not going to police. We're not going to tell you to put on a mask yet. Will that day come? I hope not. But here's my strong request. Here's my heart. If there's any reason you don't want to wear a mask during a gathered church service, I want you to think of others first and make the choice to stay home and continue to worship with us online. Again, we're not going to send anybody home for not wearing a mask. Here's the reality. In Tuolumne County, in the past week, our cases of coronavirus have doubled. Let that sink in. Our coronavirus cases here in Tuolumne County have doubled in a week. We are now up at 22 cases. The last dozen cases, roughly, are all community transmission right here in Tuolumne County. We can no longer say coronavirus isn't here. And so, if we want to continue to gather in person for worship, my request to you is that if you join us, I want you to wear a mask out of love for others. Now, there will be times that you'll be able to take that off. I'm going to wear a mask when you come in on Sunday morning. I'm going to be wearing a mask. And when I come up here to preach, when I come up to do things up front, I'm going to take that mask off so that you can hear me without the muffled. I understand the challenges. But hear my heart in this. Wearing a mask is a very practical way that you can express love for others. On Sunday, in the context of all that we're doing, we're going to be spending some time praying together. And we're not going to get into small groups of unrelated people, but we're going to spend some time praying together. And one of the things I want to hear from you, and we'll also be sharing, and so one of the things I want to hear from you is, how has God moved you in these last 3 months? How has God met you? Has He met you through His Word? Has He met you through some miraculous healings or some simple relationship? Maybe your priorities have been shifted over the past few months. I want you to be able to share so that we can all share and grow and celebrate together. I look forward to gathering with you on Sunday mornings again. I look forward to worshiping together as a people of Jesus Christ. And I look forward to beating coronavirus and not allowing it to directly impact the Journey Church Sonora through people in our own congregation getting sick or even dying. Last request has very little to do with masks. Many of you, simply because of age, but also because of other health issues, many of you are at what the CDC considers high risk for catching coronavirus. If that's you, no matter how much you want to attend, for your own sake, I would encourage you to prayerfully consider to continue to gather online with us and to not gather in person. That's up to you. But remember, if you are sick, if there's any indication of any kind of illness, fever, sneezing, coughing, anything like that that's not allergies, please be safe, love others, stay home, worship together at home. You have options. We will continue to live stream as we have. We are working over this past week especially to make sure that is every bit as good as what it's been over the last few months. And so we want you to have the option of whether you come here to worship with us in person or to stay home and worship with us online. Love those around you. Reach out, call people, talk to them. Praise God. And I look forward to seeing you either here in person or online on Sunday. God bless. Have a great weekend. Beat the heat.